In the last month alone, I've generated over 100 YouTube thumbnails for myself and my clients entirely with AI. Not just any AI, but an entirely custom model that actually looks like me. Now, before you roll your eyes at just another AI video, I really need to show you something. The thumbnails that you can see on the screen weren't generated with tools like Midjourney or DALL-E. They were actually created using an entirely custom AI model that I trained specifically for creating YouTube thumbnails. And today I'm going to show you exactly how I did that step by step. But first, you need to understand why this matters for you if you're a creator or a business owner that generates inbound traffic from YouTube in 2025. One of YouTube's most successful strategists, whether you like it or not, is Aman Gadzi. He generated $15 million in the past year from his YouTube alone. And a huge portion of what he attributes that success to is his YouTube thumbnail. He actually shared that him and his team spend countless hours every single day going back to videos that are even years old to update their thumbnails. And the reason for this is quite simple. It's because YouTube uses two main metrics to decide whether they're going to push your content to a wider audience. The first is session watch time, and the second is the most crucial part, which is click-through rate, or CTR, because if no one clicks on your video, they're not actually going to spend any time watching your video. And here's where it gets interesting as someone working in YouTube strategy. I see creators spending 2 to 3 hours on just a single thumbnail, hiring, designers, learning Photoshop or worse, using generic templates that every single other creator is using. And in 2025, it's just not going to cut it anymore. Let me show you why. Right now, we're witnessing two of the largest trends in recent history colliding. First, the media engine that is YouTube is continuing to explode just like it has over the past decade. Within the next 5 years, we're looking at 1.1 billion daily active users on the platform, which is nearly double what it was just 5 years ago. But here's a second trend that changes everything. AI is completely disrupting not just creative industries, but every industry as a whole. Because within the next 5 years, the generative AI market in creative industries is expected to hit $12.6 billion. What we're talking about here is essentially a complete revolution in how content is created. Now, the thing that most creators aren't going to understand about these two industries colliding at such a rapid pace is that there's going to be hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of jobs in the creative industry that are going to get completely wiped out. And I'm not talking about them and their personal brand. I'm talking about the tasks that they're actually outsourcing for their personal brand, like thumbnail editing, YouTube video editing, copywriting, and things like that. And the issue with that change happening is that a lot of creators are going to fall behind. But if you're watching this video, it's actually not that bad of news for you, because you understand that this is an opportunity for yourself to understand and begin to leverage these tools. Just have a think. If you are able to create perfect thumbnails in minutes, not hours, test multiple variations instantly for an extremely low cost, maintain consistent branding across hundreds of your videos, even the ones from years ago, and do it all without paying expensive designers, the creators and someone like yourself who is going to master this will have an unfair advantage in the coming years, because while everyone else is still manually giving feedback to the designers about, let's just say, thumbnails in this example, you'll actually be able to test and optimize at scale. Right? That's the key factor here. So with all that said, about 6 months ago, I decided to sit down and solve this problem. Working with YouTube channels every single day, I saw firsthand how much time was being wasted on thumbnail creation, and I knew there had to be a better way. That's exactly when I started experimenting with custom AI models. Not the generic ones that everyone else was using, but a specialized model trained specifically for YouTube thumbnails. And after months of testing and refinement, I feel like I've nearly cracked the code. What I'm about to show you is not just another AI tool. It's a complete step-by-step system to show you how to create professional branded thumbnails in minutes at scale. A system that's already been used by successful channels to save hours and at the same time improving click-through rate. Let me show you exactly how it works. So the first thing you're going to do is open up an account on replicate.com. It's super simple. It'll take you a second. And the first thing I need you to do is go to your account settings and then put in your billing information, because when we start to run this model that we're about to train, if you don't put your billing information in, it's going to tell you an error that it can't train it, and it's not going to tell you why. And 99% of the time, it's because you don't put your billing information in. So to begin training this model, what you're going to do is search up Flux Dev Laura Trainer, and you're going to look for the Ostrus model. So you can see I've already got it on the side here because I've used this in the past, but this is what it looks like. It has a little paint dripping looking logo. So once you're on the training page, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you are on the form section of this page. You're going to make it really simple for you to actually fill out all the details that we need in order to train this model as simply as possible. If you know how to use Python, then good for you. You can do that as well, but I'm not that advanced. Now, to start filling out the form, we're going to click on the destination drop-down, click Create New Model. Now, the naming convention is very simple. I'm just going to call this YouTube Thumbnail. And we might just call him Toby as well. So make sure that we know that that's me. If you're creating heaps of models, then it's going to be super, super important to know which model I'm using for a client or, whether it's myself, right? Make sure it's public. Then we're going to put images into this section. So what I did is I sat down with my phone on the tripod like this, and I just took a video of me talking and then took screen grabs of each section of the video where my mouth is actually shut, open, having different hand positions and things like that. And then I uploaded them into a folder in my Finder section of my Mac, or your file section of your Windows computer, as you can see here. And I want to rename all of these to YouTube Thumbnail Toby. Now that they're all renamed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into a new folder, and I'm just going to use the same naming convention, and I'm going to zip the file so that we can upload it into the model. I'm going to come back to the model, and then I'm going to either drag and drop or just double click on the file and wait for it to upload. Now, the next stage is the trigger words. So when we actually have trained this model and need to prompt it, we need to have a way to refer back to the training images. So what that looks like is, I'm going to call this YouTube Thumbnail Toby. And that's going to mean that I can say generate an image of at YouTube Thumbnail Toby. Imagine it like a way for you to tell it what the images are called, so it knows to recall the training from the images you uploaded. Hopefully that makes sense, but it will make more sense when I actually show you how to prompt the model. Going further down, I like to also do the auto caption prefix. So when we are beginning to prompt, this will just make writing the prompt far easier. So we'll just do generate an image of, right? We're not going to play with the steps at all. All you need to know about steps is that the more you do, the more expensive it'll be, the more accurate the model will be, and also the longer time it will take to train. So I just keep it at 1,000. I've got good results from that. But if you are wanting to take it to another level and you have a higher budget, be my guest. Now, all the rest of these, I'm not going to touch, like the LoRa rank, but the Hugging Face repo ID is where we need to go over and create an account on Hugging Face. Hugging Face is like GitHub, but for AI, hosts a bunch of different models that you can run. When you've created an account on Hugging Face, you're going to go over, create a new model. Same thing, I'm going to call it YouTube Thumbnail Toby. And we're not going to worry about anything else. Make it public, create model. What we're then going to do from here is copy the link here, the repo ID, and we're going to paste it in. For the Hugging Face token, I need to then go into Hugging Face, I need to go into Access Tokens, and I need to go create new token. Now for the token name, we want the same naming convention, YouTube Thumbnail Toby. We're going to click all of these in the sections here. Don't worry about discussions and posts. And then we're going to choose the repository that we are using. So we're going to be using, obviously, YouTube Thumbnail Toby. Now, when we generate this token, you're going to copy it, bring it back over to the model, paste it like that. And the rest we are not going to worry about. We're going to click Command, Enter, and we're going to train the model. This usually takes about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm just going to speed it up and get to the next point. So as you can see, the training succeeded. The status is right here, and you can see the total duration. It took about half an hour, which is a lot more than it usually takes, but I did also use high quality, high resolution images. What you can do now is begin to run the model. So when you're ready to run the model, the most important part is actually prompting. Now, what I do in order to prompt effectively is go to Claude, Copilot, ChatGPT, whatever your preferred large language model is, and give it some context as to what you're trying to do, and then getting it to generate a prompt for you. And so I'll show you the way that I prompt Claude to get the image generation prompt. As you can see, I asked it to generate a prompt for an image generation tool that I've trained on images of myself in order to create YouTube thumbnails at high quality and scale. Remember, that's what this tool does best for you as a creator. I want you to provide me with a reusable template that I can fill in each time I want to prompt the image generation tool. So what we want to do with this prompt, once we've refined it by testing it on our trained model, is put it into a database somewhere for you or your team to reuse over and over again. So we're going to copy this prompt, paste it into the prompt section, and I'm going to say, generate an image of YouTube thumbnail Toby, and you can see there it actually tags it, so it knows this is what the subject matter of the whatever it is that you're asking it to prompt, which is obviously going to be an image. And I want it to be in a professional and clean setting, and I want to have a confident grin with one finger up. With one finger up. I want to be face to the camera, facing the camera, wearing a button-up dress shirt. Let's try that, right? The background, like I said, is in a professional clean setting. It's going to be YouTube style, 4K, professional lighting. I want to have darker colors, high contrast. I want to have it as eye-catching. We'll do thumbnail composition. Now, the next part is going down to the aspect ratio. YouTube thumbnails, 16 by 19. You don't need to put the height and width when you've done the aspect ratio. Prompt strength, this is all fine. You want to run the dev model. Schnell is slower and cheaper, but it's not as high quality. Dev, a little bit more expensive, faster, way higher quality. So you know what to do there. And all the rest is the same except the output PNG. If you want to use a seed, that's basically it's going to generate a seed code for you when the image has been done. If you want to reuse what that image has produced, you can put the seed code in here. So it creates reproducible generations, right? So moving on, all the rest is the exact same, and I'm going to run this. I don't expect this to generate anything incredible straight off the bat. Like I said, with the prompt that we got from Claude, we want to use that as a baseline. We want to use that as something that we can reiterate over time once we've got feedback and tested it, right? So let's see what it comes out with. It's usually very fast. This one doesn't look massively like me, but you can see how it's already just incredible straight away, right? I'm going to come back, I'm going to cut the video here, do a proper prompt, and I'll show you what I get. Now, giving you real-time updates, this is the second prompt that I created. You can read it there, and it's already generated something that is far better, far better than what the first prompt was. So you can see the things that I changed was I want to have a closed mouth and knowing gaze. I want to almost come from an authoritative position. I want black background, darker colors with glowing ambient white lights. It needs to be eye-catching, and I want a black dress shirt. I'm looking a little bit like Andrew Huberman here, so that's pretty cool. But you can see that this is genuinely incredible. Now, the one drawback of this model is that it doesn't do text or logos or other little icons extremely well. I have tried it. I would rather just have this downloaded, upload it into Canva, and then put your own logos, images, icons, text into it yourself. But with that being said, this makes things so much easier because if you're going to stay with the thumbnail editor, they don't then need to ask you, hey, can you put your finger up for this, or can you do that, or you can do this. They can just generate this, and they've got a perfectly effective thumbnail right there. But there you have it, a complete system to generating high quality and viral worthy YouTube thumbnails with a custom AI model. I've been using this exact process to create hundreds of thumbnails over the past few months for myself and my clients. And I want you to remember, while I end this video, by 2030, YouTube will have over 1.1 billion users, and the creators who master AI tools like this now will have an incredible advantage and be able to pick up on that slice of 1.1 billion daily users for years to come. Hit me up on Instagram if you need any help at all implementing this for your specific case. But for now, if you found this valuable, feel free to subscribe and I'll see you on the next one.